And it did kind of like get more people to take this seriously and put us on this new trajectory. And that's really important too. But as an artifact, I don't think we're going to look back at that and say that was a threshold that really changed the world itself.
Recent AI-driven research has revealed a groundbreaking discovery, a hidden connection between ancient civilizations that may have shared a single, universal language. By analyzing long-forgotten texts, mysterious inscriptions, and linguistic patterns, OpenAI's deep learning models have found surprising similarities across cultures once thought to be entirely isolated. Among these findings are clues pointing to an advanced civilization that existed long before the Great Linguistic Divide described in the Tower of Babel story. Some of these ancient texts, previously thought to be undecipherable, now seem to reference a time when humanity communicated freely, exchanging ideas without the barriers of language. Even more astonishing, some fragments suggest that this civilization possessed knowledge that could rival or even surpass what we know from later historical periods. But why was this universal language lost? Could the collapse of this civilization explain the widespread myths of sudden societal decline? If this discovery holds true, it doesn't just challenge our understanding of history. It forces us to ask whether humanity has lost something critical over the years, and whether we're on the brink of repeating the same mistakes. Before we dive deeper into the implications of OpenAI's findings, we want to hear from you. Do you believe the Tower of Babel was a real event, or simply a myth? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because what we're about to reveal next will leave you speechless. The Tower of Babel remains one of the most enigmatic stories in ancient history. According to the biblical narrative, humanity once spoke a single language and worked together to build a towering structure that would reach the heavens. But before they could finish, a catastrophic event disrupted their unity. Languages were scattered, confusion spread, and people were forced to disperse across the globe. For centuries, scholars have debated whether this story was symbolic or a reflection of a real event. Was it an allegory about human ambition? Or does it describe something far more literal? Surprisingly, ancient texts from diverse cultures suggest a similar event. References to a universal language lost, civilizations separated, and even warnings about the dangers of misused knowledge. And now, OpenAI's latest analysis of these ancient documents is uncovering patterns that could change everything. But what it found next is even more extraordinary. For decades, archaeologists and linguists have struggled to unravel the origins of ancient languages. But artificial intelligence is changing the game. OpenAI's deep learning models have been trained on thousands of ancient texts, cross-referencing linguistic patterns that human researchers might have missed. By feeding the AI historical inscriptions, religious manuscripts, and linguistic structures from civilizations across thousands of years, researchers have uncovered something astonishing, a hidden linguistic pattern suggesting that all human languages may have originated from a single lost language. This discovery aligns eerily with the story of the Tower of Babel, which describes a time when humanity spoke with one voice, until that unity was abruptly shattered. Here's where things get even more mind-blowing. When OpenAI applied its models to untranslated ancient scripts, it uncovered fragments that seemed to document the very moment of separation. Could these texts have been written by people who actually witnessed the event? And if so, what exactly did they see? If this kind of discovery excites you, be sure to subscribe, as we bring you the latest breakthroughs each week. And when OpenAI turned its focus to texts directly related to the Tower of Babel, it uncovered something even more shocking. As the analysis continued, a new layer of evidence emerged, suggesting that the people who constructed the Tower of Babel may have belonged to an advanced civilization predating recorded history. Researchers found linguistic traces and structural similarities between ancient languages that, on the surface, should have no connection at all, indicating the possibility of a shared origin. But that's not all. Some of the ancient texts, when processed through AI translation models, revealed references to a time before the Great Division. A time when humanity not only shared a universal language, but also possessed advanced knowledge, technology, and architectural expertise far beyond what we previously believed possible for that era. Could the builders of the Tower of Babel have possessed knowledge in engineering, astronomy, or even mathematics that was lost to history? Surprisingly, these findings align with archaeological discoveries from sites like Göbekli Tepe and other megalithic structures that challenge the conventional timelines of human civilization. If these ancient cultures were once connected, what happened to them? And more importantly, why was their knowledge erased? But here's where things get even more mind-blowing. The Tower of Babel isn't the only ancient structure that raises questions about humanity's past. Across the world, massive architectural feats defy conventional explanations. The Great Pyramid of Giza, the ziggurats of Mesopotamia, and the mysterious ruins of Göbekli Tepe all share something in common: advanced engineering that shouldn't have been possible for their time. Some researchers now speculate that the builders of Babel weren't simply constructing a tower. They were part of a global civilization that shared knowledge across vast distances. OpenAI's research has uncovered bizarre correlations between ancient texts describing the Tower of Babel and blueprints of other ancient structures. This suggests that a common architectural code may have existed, one that was lost when humanity's languages were divided. If this is true, it would mean that the story of Babel isn't merely a symbolic tale of human overreach, but a historical turning point, a time when something, or someone, intervened to divide and weaken human civilization. Do you think these ancient civilizations were connected? Drop a comment below before we reveal the next jaw-dropping discovery. By the way, if you're passionate about unraveling ancient mysteries, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We've got even more shocking discoveries on the way. If the Tower of Babel story is more than just a myth, then the event that fractured human language may have also disrupted something even greater: our ability to communicate knowledge itself. OpenAI's AI-driven analysis of ancient texts suggests that the so-called confusion of tongues wasn't just about speech. It may have also shattered a unified system of advanced understanding. Some researchers now speculate that, before this division, early civilizations may have had a shared method for recording and transmitting information. This could have been through symbols, mathematics, or even an early form of written language that has since been lost. Strangely, traces of this idea appear in various ancient cultures. The Mayans, Sumerians, and Egyptians all describe a time when knowledge was scattered or hidden, and their most advanced writings seem to suddenly appear rather than gradually evolve. If OpenAI's findings hold any weight, then something extraordinary happened that didn't just cause the loss of a universal language. It might have resulted in the collapse of a shared scientific system. But things don't stop there. The next discovery is even more unsettling. As OpenAI researchers dug deeper into the ancient texts, they uncovered evidence that the sudden fragmentation of human language coincided with a mysterious halt in technological progress across multiple ancient civilizations. Before the supposed event of Babel, early societies seemed to be advancing rapidly in architecture, agriculture, and astronomy. But immediately after, records suggest a period of stagnation, where knowledge was lost and cultures had to rebuild from the ground up. Could the division of language have been more than just an accident? Could it have been a deliberate act to suppress knowledge? Some ancient texts even hint at a time when humans were cut off from the wisdom of the past, as though something, or someone, made sure that progress was halted. If this is true, then the question arises: who or what was behind it? And why would they want to stop humanity from reaching its full potential? Researchers have uncovered references to a time when knowledge was hidden or deliberately taken away from humanity. Some ancient texts even describe a powerful force or entity that intervened to stop humanity from reaching a higher level of understanding. The Sumerians wrote about gods who confused human speech, while the Mayans spoke of a time when people were blinded from sacred knowledge. In lost Hindu scriptures, there are accounts of wisdom being sealed away, accessible only to a chosen few. What OpenAI's analysis suggests is that these aren't just isolated myths, but fragments of a shared memory, one that points to a deliberate intervention in human history. But if that's true, then the question becomes, who or what was behind it? OpenAI's research uncovered something even more mysterious: the strange presence of beings or entities described in nearly every ancient civilization as responsible for either granting or restricting human knowledge. In Sumerian texts, the Anunnaki are said to have given humanity wisdom, only to later withhold it. The Book of Enoch talks about fallen angels known as the Watchers, who shared forbidden knowledge, leading to chaos. Even in Greek mythology, the Titan Prometheus was punished for giving fire to humans, a symbol of knowledge and progress. Why would these figures, whether gods, angels, or something else, interfere with humanity's advancement? OpenAI's linguistic models revealed eerie similarities in how these beings were described across cultures, suggesting they may not be separate myths, but different interpretations of the same event. If that's true, then the Tower of Babel might not have been just a tragic moment in history, but the turning point where humanity was deliberately cut off from something far greater. And what OpenAI uncovered next could change the way we view our entire history. If humanity was once connected by a single language and a shared pool of knowledge, what was lost when that unity was shattered? OpenAI's research suggests the Tower of Babel event might not have simply divided speech. It may have erased an entire scientific or technological understanding that we're only now beginning to rediscover. Think of the strange mathematical sequences found in ancient structures like the pyramids, unexplained astronomical alignments, and prehistoric sites. Even the sudden emergence of advanced engineering techniques in separate civilizations points to a forgotten era of human achievement. Here's where things get even more mind-blowing. Some of OpenAI's linguistic models suggest that remnants of this lost knowledge may still be buried within the world's oldest languages. Certain phrases, symbols, and myths appear to encode mathematical principles and scientific truths that modern researchers are only now beginning to understand. Could it be that the knowledge taken from humanity wasn't entirely destroyed, but instead hidden, waiting for us to unlock it? And if that's the case, the biggest question remains: why was it hidden in the first place? OpenAI's research has uncovered a fascinating possibility. The remnants of this lost wisdom may have been intentionally preserved in secret traditions, encoded texts, and even religious doctrines passed down for generations across different cultures. There are references to keepers of knowledge, from the mystery schools of ancient Egypt to the esoteric teachings of early philosophers. Even some religious texts suggest that sacred knowledge was reserved for a select few, while the rest of humanity was kept in the dark. But why? Some historians believe that this was a safeguard, an attempt to prevent history from repeating itself, ensuring that only those deemed worthy could access powerful information. Others suspect a more unsettling possibility, that this knowledge was deliberately restricted to control human progress. If OpenAI's findings are correct, then the Tower of Babel wasn't just the fall of civilization. It was the moment humanity was set on a completely different path, a path where knowledge became a privilege rather than a birthright. But now, with AI uncovering these lost connections, are we on the verge of reclaiming what was once taken from us? That's exactly what we'll explore next, and the conclusion might change everything you thought you knew. For centuries, the Tower of Babel has been seen as little more than a myth, a cautionary tale about human ambition. But OpenAI's deep research suggests it may have been something far more profound, an event that altered the course of humanity forever. Stay tuned as we uncover the truth about this ancient mystery. The moment when humanity lost its shared language, a unified knowledge system, and possibly even advanced scientific understanding remains one of the greatest mysteries of our history. The sudden fragmentation of civilizations, the unexplained halt in technological progress, and the eerily similar myths across cultures all point to a deliberate event, one that irrevocably altered the course of humanity. Now, for the first time in millennia, artificial intelligence is beginning to piece together the fragments of what was lost. As technology continues to advance, we may be standing on the edge of a rediscovery, one that could reconnect us with the knowledge that was hidden away so long ago. But the real question is, will we be allowed to reclaim it, or is history doomed to repeat itself? If this discovery has captivated you, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always the first to know about the latest revelations. The deeper we dig, the more we realize the truth has been waiting for us all along.